You made it to land? Your hands are touching solid ground for the first time in weeks. You want to collapse. You want to cry. You want to believe the nightmare is finally over. But then you look around. No buildings, no people, no boats in the harbor. Just jungle, rocks, and the sound of waves crashing behind you. You didn't find civilization. You found an uninhabited island. And now you have a new question. How long can you survive here? Welcome back, survivors. This is part 5, Island Survival. The ocean tried to kill you and failed. Now the island gets its turn. But here's the difference. The island has resources. Water, food, shelter, tools. Everything you need to survive is here. You just have to know where to look. Let's turn this deserted island into your new home. The first 24 hours. Priorities. You're exhausted, dehydrated, and probably injured. But you can't rest yet. The first day determines whether you survive the first week. Priority 1. Freshwater, you can survive 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. Finding a clean water source is non-negotiable. Where to look? Follow animal tracks. Animals need water daily. If you see paths worn into the ground, follow them inland. They lead to streams, springs, or watering holes. Listen for running water. Close your eyes, tune out the ocean, and listen. The sound of trickling water means a stream or waterfall nearby. Look for green vegetation. Thick, lush plants mean water underground. Bamboo groves, ferns, and palms indicate groundwater. If you can't find a stream, collect rainwater. Use the lifeboat tarp, large leaves, or hollow logs to funnel water into containers. Islands in tropical regions get frequent rain squalls. Be ready to collect every time. Coconuts. If you see coconut palms, you've found hydration. Young green coconuts contain clean, drinkable water. Older brown coconuts have less liquid, but more meat. Opening a coconut without tools. Find a sharp rock or a pointed stick. Spike the 3 eyes at the top of the coconut. Drain the water into a container. Then smash the shell against a large rock repeatedly until it cracks. It's labor-intensive, but it works. Priority 2. Shelter exposure kills. Sun during the day, cold at night, and rainstorms that come out of nowhere. You need protection. Quick shelter option. Flip the lifeboat upside down. Prop one end up with rocks or logs to create an angled roof. Crawl underneath. It's not comfortable, but it's waterproof and immediate. Building a lean-to. Bind 2 sturdy trees about 6 feet apart. Lash a horizontal pole between them using vines, strips of clothing, or rope from the lifeboat. Lean long branches against the horizontal pole at a 45-degree angle, creating a slanted roof. Layer palm fronds, large leaves, or bark over the branches. Overlap them like roof shingles so rain runs off instead of seeping through. Build your shelter on high ground, away from the beach. Storm surges and high tides can flood low-lying areas. Also, higher ground means fewer bugs and better visibility. Priority 3. Fire purifies water, cooks food, keeps you warm, and signals for rescue. It's survival and hope combined. Starting a fire without matches. Method 1. Bow drill. You'll need a straight stick, the spindle, a flat piece of wood, the fire board, a curved branch, the bow, and cordage, shoelaces, vines, rope. Cut a small notch in the fireboard. Loop the cordage around the spindle. Place the spindle in the notch. Use the bow to spin the spindle rapidly against the fireboard. The friction creates an ember. Transfer the ember to a tinder bundle dry grass, shredded bark, coconut husk fibers. Blow gently until it ignites. Method 2. Lens fire. If you have glasses, a camera lens, or even a clear water bottle, you can focus sunlight into a concentrated beam. Aim it at dry tinder. Hold steady. It takes a few minutes, but it works. Keeping fire alive. Never let your fire go completely out. Keep a bed of coals burning at all times. Add small sticks throughout the day. Hardwood burns longer than softwood. At night, bank the fire cover the coals with ash to slow the burn, then uncover and add fuel in the morning. The island assessment. Exploration. Once your immediate needs are met, you need to understand your environment. Day 2. Survey the island. Walk the entire perimeter of the island. How big is it? 1 mile across? 5 miles? Is it a tiny sandbar or a substantial landmass? What to look for? Highest point. Climate. Survey the horizon. Can you see other islands? Shipping lanes? Smoke from distant civilization? Natural resources. Fruit trees, edible plants, shellfish beds. freshwater sources. Dangers, cliffs, tidal zones, caves that might house dangerous animals. Materials, driftwood, bamboo, vines, rocks, everything you'll need for tools and construction. Mark key locations. Use stacked rocks, carved symbols, or tied branches. You'll be traveling these paths repeatedly. Make navigation easy. Food. Foraging and hunting the island is full of food if you know where to look. Coconuts. We covered this earlier, but it's worth repeating. Coconuts are a miracle. Water, fat, protein, and fiber all in one package. A single coconut palm can sustain you for weeks. Other edible plants. Bananas. If you see banana plants, you've hit the jackpot. Eat the fruit. Cook the inner stem. It's starchy and filling. Taro. Large leafy plants with starchy root bulbs. Must be cooked raw. Taro contains calcium oxalate crystals that burn your mouth. Wild yams. Dig around the base of vine plants. Yams grow underground. Roast them over the fire. Seaweed. Rinse it thoroughly in fresh water to remove salt, then eat raw or dried. The universal edibility test. If you find an unknown plant, don't just eat it. Test it first. Rub it on your skin. Wait 15 minutes for reaction. Touch it to your lips. Wait 15 minutes. Chew a small piece, but don't swallow. Wait 15 minutes. Swallow a tiny amount. Wait several hours. If you experience burning, numbness, nausea, or rash at any stage, it's poisonous. Move on. Shellfish and crustaceans. Walk the tide pools at low tide. You'll find mussels clinging to rocks. Steam them over the fire. If they don't open during cooking, they're dead. Don't eat them. Crabs hiding under rocks. Catch them from behind to avoid the claws. Boil or roast them. Sea urchins. Crack them open with a rock. The orange roe inside is edible and rich in nutrients. Fishing from shore. You still have the fishing line from the lifeboat. Craft a hook from a thorn, a bent nail, or a carved piece of bone. Use crab meat or shellfish as bait. Fish near rocks and reefs. That's where the fish congregate. Early morning and late evening are the best times. Trapping birds and small animals. If the island has birds or small mammals, build snare traps. Use thin vines or fishing line. Create a loop, anchor it to a sapling or stake, and place it along a visible path. When the animal steps through, the loop tightens. Check your traps daily. Never waste a catch. Long-term shelter. Upgrading your camp. The lean-to was temporary. Now you build something permanent. The A-frame hut. Construct a triangular frame using sturdy branches lashed together with vines. Build it large enough to sit up inside, roughly 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, 5 feet tall at the peak. Cover the frame with layers of palm fronds, leaves, and bark. Double layer everything for insulation and waterproofing. Create a raised sleeping platform inside using bamboo or flatwood. This keeps you off the cold, damp ground and away from crawling insects. The bamboo platform shelter. If your island has bamboo, you've got construction gold. Bamboo is lightweight, strong, and easy to work with. Lash bamboo poles together to create a raised platform about 3 feet off the ground. Build walls and a roof using split bamboo and palm fronds. You now have a shelter that's elevated, ventilated, and protected from flooding and ground predators. Tools and weapons. Crafting your arsenal, you arrived with almost nothing. Now you build what you need. The stone knife. Find a flat piece of flint, obsidian, or hard stone. Strike it with another rock at a sharp angle to flake off pieces. You're creating a sharp edge through controlled breaking. It won't be pretty, but a sharp stone can cut vines, clean fish, and carve wood. The spear. Find a straight, sturdy branch about 6 feet long. Sharpen one end with your stone knife. Fire harden the tip by rotating it slowly over flames until it's dark and hard. A spear is your primary hunting and defense tool. The hand axe. Lash a sharp, wedge-shaped stone to a wooden handle using vines and wet strips of bark. They tighten as they dry. You now have a tool for chopping wood, breaking coconuts, and building. Cordage from natural materials. You'll run out of rope from the lifeboat eventually. Learn to make cordage. Strip the inner bark from dead trees. Soak it in water for a few days to soften. Twist the fibers together, adding new strands as you go. This creates strong, flexible rope for building, traps, and tools. Water purification. Staying healthy, you found a stream. That's great. But is the water safe? Boiling. If you have a metal container from the lifeboat, boil water for at least 1 minute. Heat rocks in your fire until they're glowing. Drop them into a wooden or bamboo container filled with water. The rocks will boil the water. Filtration. Create a basic filter using layers of sand, charcoal, and gravel inside a hollow bamboo tube or carved wood. Pour water through the filter into a container. It won't remove all pathogens, but it helps. Always boil after filtering, if possible. Signaling for rescue. Never give up hope just because you're surviving doesn't mean you stop trying to be rescued. The signal fire. Build 3 fires in a triangle pattern on the highest point of the island, or on the beach. 3 of anything is a distress signal. Keep them ready to light at all times. Stack dry wood, kindling, and tinder. If you see a plane or ship, light them immediately. Add green leaves or wet wood to create thick smoke during the day. Smoke is visible for miles. The beach SO. Use rocks, logs, or palm fronds to spell out SOS, or help, in massive letters on the beach. Make each letter at least 10 feet tall. The larger, the more visible from the air. Signal mirror. If you still have the signal mirror from the lifeboat, use it daily. Sweep the horizon at regular intervals. Reflected sunlight can be seen from aircraft up to 10 miles away. Mental survival. Staying human. This is the hardest part. Not the hunger, not the thirst, not the physical labor. It's the loneliness. Create routine. Wake at sunrise. Check traps. Gather water. Maintain the fire. Forage. Build. Signal. Sleep at sunset. Routine keeps your mind structured. It gives you purpose. Mark time. Carve a notch in a tree or mark a rock for each day. Losing track of time makes you lose your grip on reality. Talk. Even if you're alone, talk out loud. Your voice keeps you connected to your humanity. If you have a group, hold nightly meetings. Share what you found, what you built, what you hope for. Community is survival? The question, how long? How long can you survive on this island? Months? Years? People have survived for decades on deserted islands. You have water, food, shelter, and fire. You have the skills now. But survival isn't the same as living. So you keep signaling. You keep hoping. And you keep building the life you need while you wait for the life you want. You've come so far. From the infected ship, to the lifeboats, to the open ocean, and now here. You've survived every challenge thrown at you. If this guide helped you build your island life, hit that like button and subscribe. Share your survival skills and island strategies in the comments. Keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive, and stay safe out there. We'll see you in part 6, because even on a deserted island, the story isn't over yet.